Welcome back. We've talked a lot about artificial intelligence in the last few weeks, discussing whether it can replace lawyers, artists and even television presenters. What is the place of AI in the theatre? This week, a production called Play AI was premiered, written entirely by AI, but performed, I'm pleased to say, by humans. Arts editor of Express Online, Stefan Kyriazis, went to see it.
I did.
Hello, welcome back. What did you think?
I'm fascinated by this. I didn't know what to expect. It is, honestly, at the moment, it's probably the equivalent of a child's crayon drawing or an old Pac-Man video game, something like that. The cast and the director talked to us afterwards about it. It's at the very, very earliest stages, but it's a functioning play. It's very literal, it's very cliched. It doesn't know how to do subtlety and nuance or anything like that. It's all about exposition. I must explain, and then this is what's going to happen next. And they talk a lot about it. Nothing happens. But this is the earliest days. You look, Pac-Man games then, and now you have multi-dimensional games, huge alternate reality universes. This ChatGPT was launched last year, November, December last year. And this is already where we're at.
Have you any idea how they briefed the computer?
It did. It took them, I think they did it across 5 days. You're limited to the number of prompts. So you give it prompts the whole time about, you put in the cast, a vague plot idea. They gave it about 200 prompts across 5 days. And at the moment, the technology, it can't remember many of its previous iterations. So it wipes and resets and wipes and resets. It's not advanced enough yet to have memory and, I guess, an awareness, which is slightly terrifying. But at the end, we had the AI's voice giving its own reactions to the play so far, and it's aware that it needs a better resolution. It's aware that some of the characters need a little bit more depth. I say aware, but it's analysing. But the slight difference between that and awareness is terrifying. It didn't want to do it doesn't like violence and conflict. So at the moment, it has morality programmed into it.
Right.
But with enough prompts, we ended up with a scene with a guy pulling a knife on people and being aggressive and abusive. And I found that terrifying because these systems will learn and they'll start understanding moral grey areas and they'll start rationalising actions. I don't know if you're a sort of Terminator fan, but Skynet in the future, AI might decide that we're not necessary anymore.
Well, do you know what I was thinking about was that, of course, it's very, very good at impersonation. I mean, do you think it can write new Shakespeare plays? Can it write new Greek tragedies?
Well, the very good point they brought up with this is AI has already won photography awards. It won the Sony International Photography Award. That was this month. There's an International Songwriting Award, and the director made the point that photographs and music are freely available across the internet everywhere. At the moment, theatre is not. You can't freely read Shakespeare in anything you like. So the AI doesn't have the resources. If it can go through every play ever written and all the analysis of the plays and all the critical comments, and it can put it all together, yes, quite possibly.
Yeah, I don't see why not. We're just going to change the mood a little and talk about the Time Warp. The Rocky Horror Show first opened in London in June 1973, and it holds the record for the longest continuous run of a contemporary musical anywhere in the world. It's been seen by over 30 million people worldwide in more than 30 countries, and it's been translated into 20 languages. Let's remind ourselves of what it's all about with this trailer.
It's astounding! Time is fleeting! Madness takes its toll. But listen closely.
Not for very much longer.
I've got to keep control. I remember during the time warp, drinking those moments when the blackness would hit me and the void would be calling.
Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again.
And, Stefan, you've used that opportunity to change your garb. What on earth are you wearing and why?
I'm off to Tesco's afterwards, Michael, so I just thought I'd slip into something convenient for that. This is what we do. This is Rocky Horror. It's audience participation. It's freedom of expression. It's fun. more than anything.
30 million people have seen it, and I'm not one of them.
No.
So I'm in complete ignorance about this. We just saw the trailer there. Just give those people who don't know it a little background as to how it works as a plot.
So the plot is basically two squeaky clean college kids go to see their old professor at some mansion, and they open the doors and they're flung into some kind of schlocky B-mover horror kind of situation with a drag queen scientist that's built his very handsome young man in little gold pants. And their minds are blown, but they're also introduced to a whole world that they didn't know. And within that, their own relationship, they start becoming honest with their own desires, sexuality, and everybody comes out of it all the better for it.
And tell me about the audience participation. Apart from wearing a feather boa, how else do you participate?
Fishnets, little gold pants. I've seen a lot of those. Not me just yet, but there's a lot of the cinema actually has a lot more throwing of things. We don't do so much throwing in the theatre.
Throwing of things.
So yeah, there are lots of cues from the early days in New York in the 70s where they would throw toast, frankfurters, absolutely everything, water guns, umbrellas. There's a lot of call and response. So especially in the theatre now, you think we're having all these huge fights about audience actions and participation.
Yeah.
This encourages Brad and Janet, the two squeaky clean ones, every time they come on or they say their name, you're supposed to shout profanities that I won't repeat here at them. And there are various other times where you've got lines that the audience can deliver.
You were fulminating against a lady with a large hairdo who'd sat in front of you. People with umbrellas, you won't be able to see a thing.
No, it's for one tiny moment where there's a bit of water gunning and everything like that. But this is not about, admiring the art from a distance. This is about participating. It's also very much, O'Brien, the writer, Richard O'Brien, has said, this is about just inclusion, acceptance, tolerance, love. It doesn't have a message. It's not banging you over the head. It's just about having fun and joy in everybody and everything.
Stephan Kyriazis, what a fantastic testament that is to that show, the Rocky Horror Show. You are watching Sunday with Mike Portillo on GB News.